When the Ohio football schedule came out for the 2025 season, easily one of the most anticipated games was the Bobcats home opener. And now, after months of waiting, Ohio is set to host West Virginia for the first time since 1949. Saturday's game is not just a big one for the game itself, it also comes on the 20-year anniversary of one of the most important games in program history when the Frank Solich era began against Pitt in 2005.
For the first time ever, ESPN welcomes you to Peden Stadium in Athens, Ohio, as the Bobcats take on the Pittsburgh Panthers, both schools looking for their first win in 2005.
3rd down and 4. Quick drop, Palco. And it's intercepted! Once again, Dion Byram, who picked off a pass and ran it back for a score earlier, and he's going to win the game for Ohio! Touchdown, Bobcats!
The Bobcats' 16-10 win over the Panthers in double overtime was seen by a crowd of 24,545 fans and is the 5th highest attended game in Peden Stadium history. Ohio has hosted 4 other games with larger crowds against Akron, Idaho, and New Mexico State, but those numbers may not stand for long as the school expects Saturday's meeting with WVU to set a new record number.
I mean, it should be an electric experience. We're talking about that with the players, is how exciting it should be for them. I know we're expecting it to be the largest capacity that we've had in the stadium. And it'll be unique because there will be a good group from Morgantown, and so it should be very exciting.
It will also mark the second time in 3 years that Ohio hosts a Power 4 opponent. Back in 2023, the Bobcats defeated Iowa State 10-7 in a defensive slugfest. This season's matchup against the Mountaineers will likely see more points. Ohio put up 31 on the road against Rutgers in Week 1 and recorded nearly 450 yards of offense. For West Virginia, they had even more explosive numbers, 45 points scored and over 600 yards of offense against Robert Morris. The Mountaineers pose numerous challenges for Ohio, but maybe the toughest will be the tempo.
I think some of the tempo stuff on offense is going to be challenging. So that's a big thing for our defense.
The Mountaineers' run game was also dominant in the team's opening game. 8 players had at least 2 carries and over 20 yards. Only BYU and Navy rushed for more yards in Week 1 than West Virginia. For an Ohio defensive front that is still learning on the go, they will be tasked with slowing the West Virginia attack.
With that group of so many new players or guys that may be inexperienced, I think the leap that we'll start seeing from game 1 to game 2 as they progress will continue to get better.
Ohio's Week 2 game will be another in a long stretch of defending the Frank. The Bobcats are 17-1 on Frank Solich Field since the start of the 2022 season and have not lost to a non-conference opponent at home since 2021. Saturday's game will be aired nationally on ESPNU almost 20 years to the date after the first ever ESPN broadcast from Athens on that iconic night in 2005. The game kicks off at 4 p.m. from Peden Stadium and could go down as a historic day for the program. For Bobcat Showcase, I'm Andrew Bowlby.